Law enforcement, we don't do things like secretly grab data illegally. We get warrants. That's like saying that sailors don't sail on ships. I mean, it's just the way they talk to the public, like, oh, there's no world government being formed. Oh, no, no, no. There's nothing bad in the vaccines. No, no, no. GMO is very good for you. And Roundup in the water supply, why, you could bathe in it and then get breast cancer and testicular cancer. And the public for so long has just gone, oh, everything's fine. Now, people on average do not believe everything's fine. But we're told that we're all being spied on because of Al-Qaeda when our own government's been arming them all over the world. And there's an article up on Infowars.com, the Obama administration policies that jihadists are using to legally immigrate to America. Did you know that one of the Americans that was recently killed fighting for ISIS once cleaned planes at Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport? And the article links to the documents. Did you know they just got 11 large wide-body passenger jets at the Tripoli airport, and now the planes have disappeared? I'm going to say that again. When our government was funding and beefing up Al-Qaeda in Iraq and Al-Qaeda in Syria, that's what they called themselves, and the Al-Nusra brigades and all of them, they wave black flags that are the symbol of Wahhabism with Wahhabist slogans. Do you understand? This is Al-Qaeda. This is Al-Qaeda's daddy, not its baby. And they're real, and there's hundreds of thousands of them. And it was in the British newspapers on Monday, and we covered it here, that the British government's going to re-educate the jihadis when they come back. That's right. British citizens are allowed to board planes, give money, go fight for ISIS, chop Christian heads off, and then come back, and then they get given a course. You know, like if you beat your wife, you go to a course 4 or 5 times, or if you get caught drinking and driving. It's the same thing. They're going to get a social worker course. And then this article breaks down the open border policies that let these guys come in and out of the country in a survey conducted by Pew Research, the Wall Street Journal, and the information released by the Minneapolis newspaper. I'm here looking at the sources. This is just Daily Caller, WorldNet Daily. The Minneapolis-St. Paul paper. It makes me want to throw up that our border is wide open, and they have got government-financed cell phone towers up all over the place, illegally grabbing all of our data, running it through. And the argument by Homeland Security, when you read the congressional funding 2 years ago to put in the next wave of this stuff nationwide, in every city and town, government boxes that set up on top power transformers. In fact, we'll show TV viewers. Let's put Mikhail Phelan's articles up on screen from November of last year and January of this year. Exclusive government documents reveals DHS domestic spy takeover. New mesh network documents confirm police vehicles, real-time access to DHS spy cameras, cell phone data, everything. It is real-time to be given to the police once they sell it to the public at the Threat Fusion Center level and beyond, grabbing all data, public and private, and running it through into consoles in the police cars, and then headset helmets and Google glasses. And it breaks down the whole thing being beta tested in Austin, Texas, Seattle, Washington, Chicago, Illinois, Boston, Massachusetts, New York, Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, San Francisco. I mean, we have all the documents. We know exactly what these mystery boxes are. We know who's grabbing the cell phone data. We know why it's causing all the drop calls. We have people inside, okay, who run the things in major cities telling us exactly what's going on. I've had to put reporters on airplanes to fly and meet with these people. We know, okay? They've got laser cuplink systems in major cities where they shoot basically white light invisible lasers. You can't even see them during the day to your window, and they can listen to everything going on in your house. They can shoot it at a paper bag in your front yard and then bounce the sound waves off the window, off the paper bag, and then technically say they're not aiming it at your window and even get around having a warrant. But forget that. Parallel construction. Parallel construction is what I told you about years ago. I was told by insiders over a decade ago that, listen, every major agency has access to everything lifetime. They don't give it to junior and mid-level people because they might blow the whistle on how illegal it is. But it's a giant criminal revolution against our privacy and our freedom, not for our security, but for a domestic takeover by globalists with the inside info. There it is. MIT develops tech to record conversations using inanimate objects, including a paper bag in your yard, including leaves. These algorithms are so powerful, folks, that leaves in a tree are picking up sound waves through your window, so they just aim the laser at the leaf. And then the computer dials in till it picks up what you're saying and doing, right out of the Joker Batman movie, where we're only going to use the sonar on these cell phones one time to tune it to the voice of the Joker and find him. They actually have that. 20 years ago, they had infrared satellites where they would pick up the signature of your shoulders, the top of your head, and track everywhere you went. They already have this worldwide, folks. They could control the borders. They could control everything. They don't want to. It's all completely illegal. And so imagine, people are noticing these weird cell boxes and these things grabbing their data, and they're wondering who's breaking into their computers. It's come out the FBI has put out almost every major virus worm that's infected, in some cases, hundreds of millions of computers to, quote, find one bad guy. We were just infecting, hundreds of millions of computers to catch one bad guy, and we finally caught him 3 years later with the technology, knowing he'd open it someday. No, they attacked all the networks, they stole the data, and then gave you some story how they, it's ridiculous. Meanwhile, our government is funding IS to murder over 200,000 Christians, chopping their heads off, murdering little children, over 100,000 non-radical Muslims, 300,000, look it up, conservative number, in Syria. I'm going to say it again. The people that run our government want jihadis chopping Christians' heads off. Are these good people? This grid is not to keep you safe. You can dress up like Osama bin Laden and walk across the border all day long, right in front of military bases. Why do I know? We've now done it. Video's coming. You can dress up like Al-Qaeda, run around chopping heads off in front of military bases, and nothing happens. Simulated head choppings, nothing happens. That's how open it is. You can run around with ISIS flags on the border, nothing happens in America. But let me tell you, folks, they listen to everything I do. They track everything I do, and they can plant anything they wanted on me at any time, and you too. And that's how they control Congress, by the way, and that's how they control the Pentagon. I saw an article a few years ago where they came into work one day at the Pentagon, and over 10,000 computers had child porn on them. And they came into everybody and said, you're under investigation now. Better do what you're told. You understand how this system works? This is pure evil, and it only gets worse. Yep, 2010. So listen to this article again. Why there's these cell towers popping up, and the telecoms don't own them, and no one knows who they are. Well, find out whose property it's on. Call the landowner, then they can call the police, and they can jack into it with their forensics people and tell you exactly whose it is. They're not, folks, because it's Homeland Security or it's the CIA or Defense Intelligence or a private group. They're just, it could be hackers or somebody else, And they're on the news going, here's the fake tower. We don't know who has it. And then let's talk to the former FBI agent. Oh, it's not the government. CBS 2 security analyst Rose Rice, a former FBI agent, said it's likely being used illegally. I doubt that they are installed by law enforcement, as they require a warrant to intercept conversations or data. And since the cell providers are ordered by the court to cooperate with the intercept, they really wouldn't need that. No, they don't want to pay the telecoms anymore for the data. They want their own systems that they also then use as the government's own cell communication that they think is secure for them and encrypted, but then that also doubles as stealing and grabbing all of your data. Do you got what I'm saying now? Do you understand what I'm saying now? Everything they do has been war-gamed, brain-bugged, looked at, actuaried, studied to have multi-platform uses. But at the bottom of the rabbit hole...